documents. Y'all ain't getting the voice for the people right now. Y'all getting Kim from New York. Okay? Did she put the air tag in the vitamin bottle in the car? Halle,
what happened?
I was reading it like, oh my God. Child was popping up at the movie theater using the air tag. Okay, let's go do the beginning. So Halle originally found.
As you guys can see, I don't know nothing about this situation other than DDG pulled up receipts on Halle, and I wanted to wait to react to this so I could get my full reaction. All right, so let's get it.
For full custody and a restraining order and child support. And she also asked the judge, can she take her son to Italy because she has to go to work for 2 months. And she's supposed to leave June 7th. And DDG today filed for a restraining order and full custody. And he's also asking the judge not to allow her to go to Italy because he's saying that she self-harmed herself and that she has repeatedly done this throughout their relationship. Basically saying that the child is not protected in her custody. So
I be saying, these Disney characters, man, they be going psycho. Look at Orlando Brown, right? Look at Britney Spears. These niggas went psycho.
She might not even go to Italy come June 7th. But when I tell you I read all these pages and my mouth was on the floor. And I mean, he had text message after text message. Child, what the hell? Okay, so this started from March 2022. This is before the pregnancy. This is their first incident where she didn't trust him. She basically was accusing him of cheating and they got into this big argument. And
ladies and gentlemen, if you can't trust your partner, drop that partner. Don't be with that partner. Don't act toxic and shit just because you have trust issues, all right? And
he left, and she said that she was going to off herself. So she was basically using this tactic to try to get him to come back and, you know, make him feel guilty for leaving in the first place. So she has been doing this throughout their relationship. Then DDG also mentioned when he DM'd Ruby Rose, and Halle was very upset. They got into this big, huge argument behind it. She ended up texting, well, he didn't put who the person was, but Baby Rich already hinted at it already. She ended up texting Brent Fires that night to go to a Grammys party just to get back at DDG. Now, DDG was done with the relationship at that point, but she was trying to get, even though she did that, she was trying to get back with him, and she yet again was using the self-harming tactic that she does.
So this was before Halo was born, right? 2022? Before Halo was even in existence. So now I gotta come at you, DDG. She was wrong for being toxic, and she was wrong for, you know, whatever the case is. But DDG, you were wrong because even after all of this shit, you put a baby in her, bruh. Knowing how toxic she is. Now I gotta now you gotta hold yourself accountable, fam. She gotta hold herself accountable for not working out her inner issues and inner insecurities, right? Whatever trauma she went through, whether it be childhood or whether it be from Disney, okay? Because Disney has a horrible track record of that shit. Hold herself accountable. And DDG, you gotta hold yourself accountable too. You put a baby in I don't want to call her a psycho, that's mean. But you put you put a baby in her knowing all these things about her, bruh. Never in life. Knowing that you self-harm, knowing that you got trust issues so much, knowing that you're so obsessed with me that you will hurt yourself, right? You end up putting a baby in her, fam? I can't feel bad for you either, DDG. You know what I'm saying? Only person I feel bad for is Halo in this situation.
But now let's talk about the actual pregnancy. One night, Halle called DDG and said that she was bleeding and having cramps. So he called the GYN, and this was early on in her pregnancy. He called the GYN and found out that she took an abortion pill, and that's why she was bleeding and cramping. Because she was trying to get rid of the baby, because she was upset. And according to DDG, she was using the pregnancy to try to manipulate him. You know, when he didn't do what she wanted him to do, she would threaten him and say that she's going to get rid of the baby. And they already had a conversation about co-parenting if things didn't work out. I guess Halle didn't want to do that, so she had the pill without notifying him, and then he found out about it, and then, you know, they got into this argument, and then he didn't want to talk to her no more, but then she felt some type of way about the situation, and she wanted to really be with him, and now she's trying to go to the medical appointments so she could keep her baby and make sure that the baby wasn't harmed, when she kept reassuring DDG that the baby was okay. The pill didn't do anything because she didn't take the second pill. But at this point, he was upset because if we already had a discussion and you got upset, and based off of you getting upset for that very moment, and you ready to make a big change or make this drastic decision without me, like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just a lot. So fast forward, they ended up getting back together. More toxic shit was going on. They ended up getting into an argument again. They ended up breaking up. At this point, Halle is well off into her pregnancy, and they're now broken up again. And DDG, who now has more time on his hands, is going to the studio. He's hanging out with his friends, and there was an incident where he went to a movie theater. Halle popped up at the movie theater because he was there with a girl, but he said in the statement that this was just a friend. But Halle is like 6+ months at this point, so she's very upset because they're not together, and then you're out and about with somebody else. But he not knowing how she even knew that they were at this movie. Come to find out,
Halle probably thought, shit, having this baby with him will keep me in his life, right? I don't know, man. She looking crazy as hell too, look. Look, man, like I said, Daryl, it's your fault too, right? The first sign I see of a bitch being crazy and harming herself over me, you're gone, baby. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I can't do it. You're only asking for trouble, and now look at what you're going through, fam. And Halle, sweetheart, I understand having insecurities and stuff like that, right? But you gotta work that shit out within yourself before you try to be with a nigga, bruh. You know, like, goddamn, man.
She was putting air tags in all his cars.
Now you, what the hell? Now you done, now you done brought a child into this world, bruh. And now this child has to suffer through y'all's toxicity. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bruh.
That this was just a friend. But Halle is like 6+ months at this point. So she's very upset because they're not together, and then you're out and about with somebody else. But he not knowing how she even knew that they were at this movie. Come to find out, she was putting air tags in all his cars. DDG was wondering why he was getting notifications that an air tag was tracking him when he didn't have an air tag. It was her air tag. She put it in the car inside of a...
We know she's an industry woman. I'm just saying. We know she's an industry woman. Be careful who you hang around who's in the industry, bruh. She keeping tabs on you. Now you got a baby bottle. Oh my God, Jesus.
A vitamin bottle. Knowing he wasn't gonna look at no vitamin bottle. And she put it inside of the car, and the air tag was tracking me.
It's not funny, bro.
When Halle arrived at the movie theater, sis was turning up. Okay, sis was screaming before she even got in. She opened the door and didn't even know where he was at. She said, sis was going off using every profanity word she could think of inside that movie theater. It was so bad that DDG and the girl had to get up and leave, where she ended up following behind them and was still cursing them out, calling them all type of names, trying to fight the girl, put hands on the girl. The girl had to kind of move it. You know, she ain't trying to fight Halle, because at this point, Halle is good and pregnant at this point. She got a whole belly. I don't even understand how we didn't even capture this footage. Okay, where was the people at in the movie theaters? Child, you know, something like that. People ready, they
that's some TMZ type shit, you know what I'm saying? Unless nobody in the movie theater knew who they were. I don't know, man.
They don't even know who you are. They ready to throw their camera up. The Little Mermaid was turning up in the movie theater, honey. She didn't care about who the hell she was at that moment. Y'all was about to feel this right. Now let's fast forward a little bit, because after she gave birth to Halo, before she even gave birth to Halo, at this point DDG felt like he had to be with her in order for her not to do something to harm their...
I hate you. You're the most horrible person I met. I wish I didn't have to fight with you. You continue to let me down. This is all Halle? What the fuck? Wow. And she's just sending them back to back to back. 12:14, 12:20, 1:44. We not getting no responses. 4:51. I'm gonna stop calling now. After 563 calls, I'm gonna stop now. Wow. You cheated on me. I literally caught you with another girl last night. Halle, look. You gotta work on yourself, you know what I'm saying? Because if he did cheat, you manifested that shit. With your trust issue. And it's never right to cheat on a woman, right? It's never right to cheat on a woman. And we don't know what really happened. We don't know if Halle does have trust issues with him because he did cheat. We don't know if he was the reason why she has trust issues. But at the end of the day, if you can't trust that person and you gotta go willy-nilly and to the point of obsession, you don't need to be with that guy. But I guess in that mode, your emotions are telling you, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna get what I want, and he better act right. So this is a crazy situation, y'all. And I knew it was something more to this story, fam. I didn't want to just be like, oh, DDG is this or that. I didn't want to judge him until more shit came out, because I was pretty sure the story wasn't ending there. I'm pretty sure things are going to come out, and things actually are coming out now. So this is crazy. Fault on both sides, though, you know?
Her child or herself, and she knew this, and she was trying to use this as a manipulation tactic to try to keep him, basically, because at that point he was done with her. You screaming at me, you beating on me, you pulling out knives, you trying to cut me.
And that's why I said, DDG, you got to start to value yourself more, because even after all of this crazy psycho ass shit, you still put a baby in her, fam. You put a baby in her. You put a baby in her. I hate to say you deserve it, but nigga, what the fuck did you think was gonna happen? You knew she was crazy. So I really don't want to hear you cry about it now, to be honest, bro. I really don't. Of course she's gonna make your life a living hell. She's been doing that the whole fucking relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
Yeah, child, DDG at some point was done, but he couldn't be completely done, because now you done welcomed a baby in this situation. They had the baby, right? And everything was going well.
It's your
They were
fault.
still trying to make things work. And then another incident happened where they got into another argument, and now firearms were pulled out because DDG has a firearm, and Halle knows that, and she stays in the house. Allegedly, she pulled out the firearm because he already left the house, and she left the house with the firearm looking for him and wondering where he was at. And according to him, he said that she was insecure. She always thought he was cheating on her. She always thought that he was doing something other than what he was saying. So sis was just, it was just a lot. She's driving in the car after an argument with Halo in the back. She's crying, yelling at him.
Daryl, you should have let this crazy girl, you should have let her go a long time ago, fam. I'm gonna just be honest with you. If nobody else gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna be honest with you, fam. Right? You should have let her go a long time ago, and you wouldn't be in this situation. But then again, you wouldn't have Halo either, which is a blessing, right? But still, fam, you got to be more selective. You got to be more choosy. Okay, she's Halle Bailey. Who gives a fuck? I don't care if she's Beyonce. I don't care. Whoever your ideal woman is that you think is just sexy as fuck, fine as hell, why allow her to act the way that she's acting, behaving the way that she's behaving, just because she's XYZ? You gotta love yourself more, bro. You know what I'm saying? You gotta love yourself more. What is this? Why are you tolerating this type of shit, bro? And then you put a baby in her, fam. Come on, man.
On the phone. At this point, DDG is scared for his son's life and her life because she's mad and yelling and driving fast, you know, and he's on the phone. He can't do nothing about it. And then another incident kept happening, and then it just keep reoccurring at this point. It's coming too close together. Before, it was like, you know, we had some gaps in between. We have little arguments, blowouts and stuff like that, and it had some time. And now it's reoccurring too fast. Okay, she's hitting him and slapping him in front of the family. She's calling him all type of names. The son is there. He sees this. It's just becoming too toxic. And at this point, DDG had to walk away from the situation. They broke up. They went their own separate ways. This is when she bought her house. He bought his penthouse. But Halle is saying that she is the primary parent, and she's trying to control the situation according to DDG. She doesn't allow DDG to see the child as punishment because he didn't do what she wanted him to do. And at this point, it was becoming tiresome. Y'all know he came to the internet. Now, fast forward to the incident that she brought up in her statement when he went to go pick up Halo because she said that he could stay overnight. And when he was picking up Halo and she had Halo in her arms and she wanted to put the baby in the car, he said in the midst of them having a conversation, he saw that she was getting agitated and frustrated, and he really didn't want to have the conversation. And it started to escalate. They started to argue, and she refused to get out the car. She ended up locking herself in the car. Then he ended up calling his mom because he didn't know what to do in the situation. So the mom was here for everything. So I'm pretty sure we gonna have the mom testify because he called his mom for everything. Oh, let's go back because there was so much that happened. I forgot about.
And I'm pretty sure moms told his ass, leave that bitch alone. Leave her alone. But you go and put a baby in her, bro. Come on, man. Come on. Now you got a baby. Now you got an Illuminati baby. Now you got an industry baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Come on, man. God bless Halo, man. God bless and keep Halo protected and safe. Because this shit is crazy.
this part. DDG, Halle Bailey, and Halo went to a Bruno Mars concert, and at the concert, I don't know what happened, but Halle ended up getting upset and she wanted to leave the concert early. So they ended up leaving the concert early, but then they ended up getting into an argument, and it got so bad to the point that DDG had to pull over his car and start recording because she started becoming violent while he was behind the wheel, and Halo is in the car. So at this point, he's recording the whole situation with Halo in the back, and he has that as proof and evidence to show that she does do these random outbursts. Now, this is just the transcript of what was said on that video, but he has the actual video of Halle going off of him. So DDG is the respondent and she's the petitioner. He said, "You keep hitting me." She said, "You stupid B, you keep hitting me." So something happened that night where she thought that he cheated on her. I don't know if she was looking through his phone, because he said that in the statement as well, that she would randomly look at his phone.
And I'm gonna also say this. They always say, the motherfucker who is deeply insecure and worried about the other person cheating is the cheater. All right? That's all I'm gonna say. They always say it's the person who is so worried about the other person cheating is the cheater. All right? I'm just saying.
She would destroy his computer, his laptop. She had a problem with everybody that he collabed with. That's why he barely collabed with women at the time that they were together. But I felt like they both had issues when it came to that, because he had a problem with her kissing and doing things on film, and she had a problem with him collabing with females, which I mentioned this before, which a lot of people was like, "Oh no, she don't have no problem." Yes, she does. Secretly, she was yelling at him. She was insecure. She didn't want him to work with other females, and this is why towards the end of their relationship, it didn't work out, because he was trying to collab and get his streaming career up, and she didn't like that. So this is why they had all these issues. Okay, so pretty much he's saying, "You hitting me," she's hitting him, she's calling him all type of names, she's telling him he's cheating, and you know, they're going back and forth. It got to the point where he ended up calling his mom again, and like I said, she has been in the midst of this situation yet again. The mom and George had to pop up and de-escalate the situation because they're going back and forth and it's becoming too toxic. So this was a recurring thing throughout their relationship that he mentioned he got evidence for, he got receipts for.
And that's why I say, DDG, you gotta hold yourself accountable too, fam. Right? The first sign of disrespect, you gotta let her know what it is, fam. Hey, this can never happen again. If it does, I'm gone. That's how you have to talk to the woman, bruh. Right? There's no reason why you had all of these occasions where this woman disrespected you, where she was acting crazy and all of this shit, and you tolerated it, bruh. Come on, man. And when I say done, I mean done. I don't mean done for right now and, "Oh, but I feel bad, I'm coming back to you later." I mean done. She has to know the severity of the situation, the seriousness of the situation. At the end of the day, as the man, you are the leader of the relationship, right? So she's either gonna follow your lead or she needs to get the fuck lost, right? Point blank, period. If you're steady taking her back and allowing her to do this and do that, right? Bruh, she's gonna get even more psycho. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna continue to test the boundaries. That just is what it is, man.
Now back to the incident that happened in January when he had to go pick up Halo from Halle Bailey's house, and Halle Bailey and DDG ended up arguing because they were talking about visitation and a schedule, which I don't know, in my opinion, I just think their careers is too demanding to have a schedule. But anyway, they got into an argument. They were going back and forth. Halle locked herself in the car. DDG called his mom. The mom was trying to de-escalate the situation. It didn't work out. They ended up going back and forth. Finally, some way he got into his car. She got mad. She lunged herself to the front of the car trying to attack him. Ended up hitting her mouth on the steering wheel. He said it wasn't him that hit her mouth. She hit her own mouth when she was trying to lunge at him. And she ended up falling because she was in the middle console. And she was trying to attack him, and she ended up falling on the wheel, and she hit her mouth, her own mouth. He showed scratches where she scratched him during the altercation because she was trying to grab him, and he was just trying to get away from her. Now the whole ride back to his house, because she said that she stayed in the house, she was quiet. She was in the back seat. She was with their son, and they got to the house. He went inside with his son, and she stayed outside and talked to his mom. She talked to his sister. He said he got this on camera, which that's more evidence. And DDG's sister TT ended up driving her home. They have evidence to show that she was outside the house talking and she was calm. Now this is the part of the text messages that just took me out. Sister said a whole bunch of stuff in the midst of a conversation. This happened August 23rd, 2022. DDG responded to a text message. He said, "Phone is on airplane mode. I'm not letting you ruin my day over that BS. The trust issues are becoming overwhelming. Maybe that's for the best. I put in too much time and effort into making you happy to have to deal with this BS.
You should never try to make a woman happy, bro. She should be happy because she fucking with you, right? Because you're leading a situation, right? You're leading that situation. You know how to talk to her, right? You know how to demand respect from her and all of these things, right? Never try to make a woman happy. That's her job, right? Nobody can make anybody happy. And that's the issue with a lot of these nice guys, man. DDG seems like a nice guy. I could be wrong, right? But he seems like a very nice guy. And I'm not saying don't be kind to your woman. I'm not saying that at all, right? But at the end of the day, you gotta draw the line, fam. You have to have boundaries. And you can't keep, you know, oh, I wanna make you happy, baby girl, this and that and the other. No, bro, that's not your responsibility, fam. Huh? It just is what it is. You can tell DDG, he's just very soft when it comes to relationships. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be soft with your woman, but she's got to earn that, and she's got to give me a reason why, right? Give me a reason why you deserve this or that, right? You can't just give a woman everything up front. She got to earn that shit. I know it sounds crazy, it sounds bad, toxic, whatever you want to call it, but it's what you got to do, fam. Right? It's not your job to make her happy. She's got that's a job that she needs to work on herself, right? If she's already not happy and then she try to come into my fucking world and reality and try to fuck up what I got because she's miserable, she's gonna be gone, right? You better get happy over here. You better be influenced by this happiness, or you can be sad and miserable on your own. You gotta make those judgment calls, man. Hold on, y'all.
Every other day, and in your eyes you're never wrong. It's frustrating. I'm over it. I'm no longer entertaining this argument. I need to work on becoming more successful like Jay-Z, like you said. What?
Wow.
Sis was trying to get her Jay-Z, baby.
So you let her talk all of this shit to you, bro, and you stay with her. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying.
Now, this is another text message where Halle is talking. She said, you put your phone on airplane mode and say you're not dealing with it. But when something bad happens, don't say anything, because this was my attempt to beg you to listen to me, to just answer the phone, to just hit.
She sounds crazy, y'all. It sounds like a threat to me. If something happened to me, you know, if I harm myself, then it's gonna be you to blame. Nah, bitch, you should have been gone, fam. This is toxic. You should not want fellas and just anybody who's dealing with this type of situation, bro. Get out before you end up on the news. All right?
Hear me and to try to understand where I'm coming from, but you don't, and you'll regret it. You'll regret ever meeting me. Go back to those bees you're used to.
The industry probably sent her ass to him, bro. He didn't want to join, right? Allegedly. You don't want to join us? You don't want to be with the powers that be, baby? You don't want to get with our program? We finna send an industry chick your way, because we already know. It's so easy for them to affect these guys out here. All they got to do is send a woman, right? Kill, steal, and destroy. Now you got a baby by this woman, fam. And I don't want to demonize Halle, right? I'm just saying. You gotta hold yourself accountable for what you allowed into your reality, into your space. If you allow a miserable person to come into your reality, right? And be miserable and try to make you miserable, and you tolerate that, fam, that's on you. That's on you, all right? I'm just saying.
So Halle actually texted him after the incident in February. This happened in January when she was saying that her tooth got chipped. She texted him and she talked about the incident. She said, well, he responded. He said, you didn't talk about Halo for almost 2 minutes. That whole conversation was about girls. I'm working. I don't know what to tell you. Halle says, every day I want to die because of the way you embarrass me online and allow other women to speak on me. I keep going because of how much I love my son. DDG responded, I have $40,000 in bills every month. I have no choice but to work. DDG responded back, send me the clip of the girl disrespecting you. I'll give you $10,000 if you can. Now this happened last year on Mother's Day when she took his weapon and he was trying to get her to come back to the house. She said that she was going home, she was going to pack her stuff, and he texted her, if you don't come back here, I'm going to call the police. I don't want you to do something stupid. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. You have a son. I know you took my weapon. You're going to let him go through life without a mom? I have to call the police. I can't let this happen.
My God.
Police, I don't.
My God, y'all. Hey, I said all I could say in this video. I pray for Halle. I pray for DDG. I pray for Halo. All right, Halo is the only innocent being in this situation right here, man. Very, very sad. But it's not up to me to judge. I want you to let me know how y'all feel in the comment section down below.